Hey everybody, Zee Garcia here. Let's talk boss battling. I'm going to be diving into my top 10 boss battlers, and here's what I chose to focus on. That boss battling has to be front and center. That's got to be the main objective, is to take down a big boss with very little wiggle room. It's got to feel good to do so. You have to feel powerful. You have to feel kind of on track to do that. There can certainly be a few other things happening around that, but that's your ultimate objective. And, you know, it just has to kind of deliver what it is you're setting out to do. This can come in many different flavors. Some of these are chock full of miniatures. They are epic. They are gigantic. Sometimes they're very small and streamlined, and they cut to the quick in what they are attempting to do. But that's enough waffling. Let's go ahead and jump into it with my number 10, which is going to go to one of the biggest on the list. This is Oathsworn, Into the Deepwood. And it is one of the highest, most beloved, highest rated boss battlers out there. The reason it comes in at number 10 for me is because, well, there's an entire half, maybe more than half of this game that is story driven, and while tremendous, my favorite half of the game, the boss battling part of it is not front and center in many occasions, and I find that part to be the weaker of the two. There's a lot of persnickety rules, it lacks clarity of purpose, and the delivery method sometimes sort of gets muddled by what is going on, so that's why it comes in at my number 10, but I still very much enjoy it. My number 9 is Aeon's End, specifically the New Age, which is the one I've played. I like this one. It's a deck building game which feels different from most deck building games because of its boss battling concept. Because you have a big bad that you set up and all you are doing is getting new things, setting spells in place, and then delivering those spells right to the boss's face while they come at you, you know. I really like it. It's got a nice ebb and flow. It's got a good turn order breakdown, and this is a good one if you enjoy deck building and you want to try it as a boss battler. That you can't go wrong with this one. My number 8 goes to Townsfolk Tussle. This one has that sort of noodle arms look, you know, the old style cartoon. Think Cuphead, right, if you are familiar with that. And I like what it does very much. It sort of takes some cues from Kingdom Death Monster, but simplifies, streamlines a few things, and makes it a little more palatable. It makes it a little bit easier to jump into it. It also has that sort of campaign thing, which is why maybe it isn't higher. I don't always want to fight 3-4 bosses in a row. I just want to fight one. But this one does what it does really, really well, and the look cannot be, undersold. It makes a statement, and it looks good doing it. All right, my number 7 goes to Leviathan Wilds. This is a neat one because you're kind of fighting a boss. There's these behemoths, these Leviathans, and you are trying to help them because they have these sort of growth on them. They have this... They're infected with these crystals, and you climb the bosses, you break these things, and you basically are freeing this creature. But it still comes across and feels like a boss battler, where you're taking on some big monstrous thing. It knocks you down. Sometimes you fall off and have to climb back up. I like that feel. This one's a tricky one to sort of encapsulate. It feels very different from a lot of the other boss battling games because it does things its own way, but the shuffle build feel, where you take a character and you take kind of like a profession and shuffle that together, gives you a unique feel. And then they are one-shots, which I enjoy in a boss battler, so I don't always have to get into a campaign. So for me, Leviathan Wilds is just quirky and different enough that I wanted to put it on this list. Moving on to number 6 goes to Vagrantsong, another one that has a little bit of that feel like Townsfolk Tussle, a little bit of that look. But I like this game better. I think it's a more robust game. It's certainly a more innovative game. Whereas Townsfolk Tussle feels a little bit like Kingdom Death Monster. And a little bit more like what boss battlers generally do. This idea of, activate a card and follow this procedure to make the boss move. This one has some of those ideas, but it is more innovative, it is more interesting, and it certainly has a cool story in which you are these vagrants traveling on a train, a ghostly train, it turns out, and you're encountering these haints, these sort of spirits trapped in our world that you are trying to free by walloping up on them and returning their humanity to them. Really clever ideas in this, very neat way in which it all works. I like Vagrantsong quite a bit. Next up at number 5, we've got Unmatched Adventures. And this one, to me, I kind of went back and forth a little bit on whether this counts, but I think it does. You are definitely, your objective in Unmatched Adventures is to take out the big bad. And you, so far, that one game in Unmatched Adventures, Tales to a Maze, is the only one that exists. You are trying to take down the aliens, or, you can flip the board over and take down the other side. And they have henchmen, so there's like mini bosses you're kind of dealing with, but the objective is to take down the big bad. I love this game. It revitalizes and sort of shakes up the formula for Unmatched. You can take these pieces and play a different head-to-head game, or you can cooperate against the bosses. The whole thing is clever, it's unexpected, it's reinvigorating in a way, both to the player and to the system. So I knew this was one that once I wrestled with myself as to whether it made sense, I knew it was going to end up on the list. And that's number 5. Number 4 is going to go to Kinfire Delve. Now, I kind of went back and forth here with Kinfire Chronicles, Kinfire Delve, and to me, I think Kinfire Delve, the smaller of the two versions, is the one that feels more directly like a boss battler, whereas Kinfire Chronicles has a lot of other things going on. You have encounters along the road, you travel from town to town, you go to markets, that sort of thing. In many ways, like Oathsworn, which has more epic boss fights and squeaked into the list. Kinfire Chronicles feels different, feels more like an adventure. Kinfire Delve is clearly, here's the big bad, go fight them. Your objective is to burn through this deck of cards and get to the big boss at the end and take them down. There's 3 different versions available. Pick whichever one you like. They're all great. They're all sort of compatible. You can mix and match stuff from them. It's one of the smallest games on the list, possibly the smallest game on the list, and it is incredibly captivating. Great production, feels and looks fantastic. Kinfire Delve, my number 4. My number 3 is going to go to Marvel Champions, one of my absolute favorite games of all time. And in this one, you, either alone or with a group, are going to take down a Marvel villain. It's a game that you're probably aware of, honestly. It's one that I did not readily think of, and then when it dawned on me, oh yeah, that is what you're doing. That is how you win in this game. You have to take down the big bad. Then absolutely, I think it feels like a boss battler. So on my list it goes. At number 2, Cthulhu, Death May Die. Has quite a bit going on. Toes the line for me between a boss battler and a dungeon crawl. But the objective always is disrupt the ritual, which is kind of the variability in the game in many ways, so that you can take down the big boss. So it becomes a boss battler at the end and evolves from a dungeon crawl. Love that feeling. Love that kind of crossover. It's like getting 2 flavors in one, and the game is fantastic. One of my favorite games of all time. So Cthulhu Death May Die gets my number 2 nod. And my number 1 nod, which goes to my current favorite game of all time, is Marvel United. I guess I really like this genre of games without realizing that I did so much. I really do. Marvel United, again, much like Marvel Champions, you are trying to take down one big bad in Marveldom. And in this one, you do so a lot more simply, and it's a much straightforward package than Marvel Champions, or really pretty much any of these other ones, except maybe Kinfire Delve. This is the simplest game on the list, but it is one that you can play with just about anybody. It's going to give you a ton of variability based on how much content is out there, and you can adjust the difficulty a little bit so that you can come out on top, feel like you're getting a good challenge, but you can still win this one. It's quite doable. And I love the idea of finally making the villain vulnerable in this game by achieving other things, and then you can go and start attacking them. It has a little bit of a Cthulhu Death May Die feel from that point of view. So there you go, that's my number one, Marvel United, and that's my list, everybody, for top 10 boss battlers. Let me know in the comments below some of your own. What did I miss? What did I regretfully leave off the list? But let's go ahead and move on. Thank you very much. My name is Zee Garcia. See you on the next one.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. And you can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel.